Good morning. Welcome to the Church of the Holy Trinity in Juneau, Alaska. Welcome, and thank you for joining us in worship. This is the 11th Sunday following the Pentecost. Let's observe this holy day together. Welcome. We are in the long season of ordinary time. It is the season of increase, when the important work of gathering and preserving food takes place. Here in the north, the days are long, and even when the sunlight is drowned under cloud, the work is long and intense. In ordinary time, in the tradition, we are refreshed by holy days. Each week there's a feast of sacred time. In the long season of ordinary time, if we're working without pause, we are hungry for the feast. Ordinary time marches on in hunger, wandering further into exile. It is important to remember that each moment holds the seeds of sacred time. It is holy. The kingdom, the holy place, has come near. Now, join us. Pause for a moment. Maybe light some candles. Breathe the air of salvation, which passes through from the holy beginning into the holy everlasting, and is the breath of life. Let a sacred place open among us. Let a sacred time open among us. In this long season of ordinary time, this one, we are in exile from our accustomed ways of gathering. In this long season of ordinary time, we yearn to gather. We know that each time we gather in person during the pandemic, we are in peril of spreading infection. Many have denied and resisted this understanding, and we now know that through bitter experience, such denial is futile. However, we calculated the small increase in the odds of death. However, we managed with charts and numbers and pejorative names to reduce risk in our sight. The virus at the root of the pandemic prospered. We have seen entire regions where the blind guide the blind, and they're falling into the pit where the virus expands its kingdom. For now, we can't simply return to the comfort of our sacred practices, and we yearn for them. Sometimes in the isolation, I think, I don't get out enough. This happened on Saturday in the rain when we were on Egan Drive. We stopped for the light at Back Loop, and I noticed the license plate on the car ahead was unusual. I'd not seen one before, an Alaska plate with a sort of impressionist version of the Denali license plate design. It's colorful, it's attractive. I gave it a closer look as we waited for the light. At the bottom of the plate, in small print, it said, Alaska Artistic License. I want one of those. I want to have an official artistic license. Why, I would use it to rewrite this time. I would make a narrative about heroic measures taken in confidence that save us from having to go through a time of death and suffering. Maybe I would develop a theme about how people changed their minds and stopped fighting each other, so we could focus on the problems that beset us. Maybe maybe I would gain confidence as I used this license and even maybe rewrite the last part of this gospel passage. Just a little. After the woman gets through the gatekeeper disciples and asks Jesus to save her daughter, where Jesus said, I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But she came and knelt before him, saying, Lord, help me. Then he answered, it is not fair to take the children's food and throw it to the dogs. Come on, Jesus, fair? Why are you calling her a dog? That's not fair. But she kept her cool. She said, yes, Lord. Yet even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table. And then Jesus answered her, woman, great is your faith. Let it be done for you as you wish. And her daughter was healed instantly. It's a wonderful story, and the character, the resolve and courage and faith of the Canaanite woman is remarkable, admirable, amazing. But just a little change, if I could just clean it up just a little for Christ's sake. After all, Jesus said, words matter. They matter just the way they are. Even if I had one, my artistic license wouldn't change the past. Not really. But maybe that is the best point of the story. You cannot change the past. But with enough love and courage and faith, you can change the future. You can even move God to rethink what is fair and then to make a better future for those who have been abused. Jesus says, words matter. In the first part of the gospel message, Jesus says, listen and understand. Words matter. In the first part of the gospel message today, Jesus says, listen and understand, it is not what goes into the mouth that defiles a person, but it is what comes out of the mouth that defiles. The Greek word, the one our translation renders defiles, is kino. That means common. Jesus says, words matter. The word is sacred, but what comes out of the mouth is common. But Peter said to him, explain this parable to us. And then Jesus said, are you also still without understanding? Do you not see that whatever goes into the mouth enters the stomach and goes out into the sewer? But what comes out of the mouth proceeds from the heart, and this is what defiles. For out of the heart come evil intentions, murder, adultery, fornication, theft, false witness, slander. These are what defiles a person. Listen and understand. Do not feed the monsters. Some are wandering thought forms looking for a place to set up house. Some are sent to you deliberately. They come from arrows of gossip, jealousy, or envy, and inadvertently from thoughtlessness. They feed on your attention and feast on your fear. Those words are from the book Conflict Resolution for Holy Beings by Joy Harjo. The book was a gift for the vestry and me from Jill. Those words are the preface, a preface to the poem Suicide Watch. Here are a few stanzas of that poem. 4. Death will gamble with anyone. There are many fools down here who believe they will win. 5. You know, I said my teacher, you can continue to wallow, or you can stand up here with me in the sunlight and watch the battle. 6. I sat across from a girl whose illness wanted to jump over to me. No, I said, but not aloud. I would have been taken for crazy. 7. We will always become those we have ever judged or condemned. 8. This is not mine. It belongs to the soldiers who raped the young women on the Trail of Tears. It belongs to Andrew Jackson. It belongs to the missionaries. It belongs to the thieves of our language. It belongs to the Bureau of Indian Affairs. It no longer belongs to me. 9. I became fascinated by the dance of dragonflies over the river. I found myself first there. Words do matter, don't you think? Listen, the isolation, the masks, the social distancing, the inhibition on gathering for worship, it takes a toll. It's not enough that we webcast our services, Zoom our coffee hour, and pray for each other. We also need to be deliberate in our sacred attention and intention. Lord, make this an acceptable time. Lord, let it be holy. Lord, let the kingdom of heaven come near. Let this place be holy. Let the kingdom be among us. Lord, let us hold each other with love in our hearts and make our words a blessing.